Hi everyone, this is video number 3 of topic 7. So frequency distribution and histogram. So let's say I give you, for example, 30 data of, for example, all the grades in my class, for example, and we want to do some research about it. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Okay, so the ability to group the data is one important technique in statistics. So if I give you 30 data, for example, I give you 30 grades, for example, it's hard to see which one is, for example, so in which interval, and for example, how many low marks I have, and how many high marks I have, and what is the grades. So if I group them, then it's easy to talk about them. For example, I can say I have several less than this grade, and I have several more than this grade, and I have many around this grade, and I can talk about them. Okay, so it's important techniques. That's important techniques when you group the data. Okay, so how do you group the data? So you want to group the data that they have, for example, 6 to 8 groups. Okay, so you want to divide between this. Okay, 6, 7, 8. So how do you divide? I will show you. Okay, so all intervals, they should have the same size. Okay, so I don't say, okay, so one of them is, for example, 10, and one of them is 5. Okay, so I mean the size. Okay, so all of them should be the same. Okay, any boundary shouldn't be at the beginning or end of the interval. I am going to show you what do I mean here. Okay, any boundary, no value should, and I don't have any gap between my intervals. Okay, so for example, I don't have one data, no gap. I don't have one data which is in 2 groups, or I don't have one data which is not in any group. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, so I will show you here. Okay, let's say I have this. For example, this is so grades in my class. Forget the test score. Okay, so I see this, and this is okay. So this is 10. So sorry, 30. Is it 30 grades? So let me see. 1, 2, 3. This no, I think it's 36. So 3 and 6 and 9 and 12, and yes, 36. See, I have 36 data here, so 36 students. Then I would say, okay, when I look at the data here, this is very raw and I cannot talk about it. Okay, so I find maximum minus minimum. Maximum is 100 and minimum is, this is maximum, and minimum is 36. Minimum 36. Which I found it here. Yeah, 36. 100 minus 36 is 64. Okay, so 64 is divisible to 8. So I do it. Okay, so I divide to 6 or 7 or 8. So here I do 8. This is 8. Okay, so this is just the difference between 2 intervals. Okay, so let's do this. So then divide the range between these. Yes, I said this is what I did. This way I did to 8. Okay, so we say we can do this or we can do this. I'm going to show you what do I mean here. Means, for example, I have 36. For example, I start from 35.9, or I start from 35.5. Okay, I start from that. Okay, and then I continue. Okay, look at this. So let me zoom in, and then I hope everything goes well, and then yes, I can show you. Okay, see, I have 36. I start from a little bit before, because I do not want my data to be at the boundary. See, I told you, at the boundary. I do not want 36 to be a start of the interval. No. So I go from 35.5 to 43.4. Why? Because the next one I can start from 43.5. Oh, okay. So each difference from here to here and here to here to here, all of them are 8. Okay, so 8 by 8, that's why I said divide by 8. So you go 8 by 8. Oh, okay, so 35.5, 43.5, 51.45, and the other one 43.4. So just 0.1 is the difference. Okay, just 0.1 is the difference. Okay, which said here. So okay, so I either do, for example, 35, so 35.9, okay, and then I go to so to for example, I continue 8 by 8, or I do half. Okay, so the reason I do this, yes, I know from 43.4 to 43.5 there are many datas. I mean, no, there are many numbers, but there is no data. There is no data from 43.4 to 43.5. So when I look at this, I can see all my data, they lie in each group. So in one group, okay, so for example, each data is in one group, and I don't have any number, any data which goes to two groups. If I have that, then I have overlap, and I don't accept this. This is not acceptable. Okay, so I write the class limits. Okay, so I find maximum minus minimum, I divide by 8, so it means I jump 8 by 8, so I start from a little bit before and I go 8 by 8. Okay, then I count them. How many I have? Tally. Okay, so tally means you make lines. Okay, how many I have in the first one? From 35.5 to 43.4, I just have one data, which is 36. The next one I have 1. The next one I have 4. Okay, the next one I have 6. Okay, so I show it this way. I show 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. Okay, in this case, I can count it very well. Oh, 1, 1, 4, 3. Look at this. 1, 1, 4, 3, 6, 7, 10, 3, and 1. See, I can count it very fast because I group them 5 by 5. Frequency is how many I have from each part. Relative frequency is the number divided by total number. And percent relative frequency, this is percent relative frequency, means you multiply by 100. Here, if you add them all, this is 36 over 36. Here, if you add them all, is 100%. Okay, very good. So here I group them. Oh, perfect. Now, when I group them, I can make the histogram. So the histogram, I do it here. Oh, okay. So here I do 1 to 10 because I see, look at this. I see 1 to 10 for frequency. 1 to 10. I don't have more than more than 10. Okay. And then I do this. Okay. 1, 1, 4, 3, 6, 7, 10, 3, 1. So I can make it. Okay. If I ask you what is class midpoint, means you have to do, so the boundary, okay, plus the next boundary divided by 2. So they're just in the middle. Class midpoint just in the middle of each interval. And if you see, all the intervals are the same. So see, all the intervals are the same. This is, okay. So I divided between 6 or 7 or 8. Here I did 8. All the intervals are the same. There is no boundary which is at the beginning or end of the interval. Or there is no gap. Yes, I know there is gap from 0.4 to 0.5, but there is no data in this gap. I mean that. Okay, so now I do this. Okay, the next one, the next example, this one. Okay, what is maximum and minimum? Okay, let me see. Maximum, minimum. Okay, so maximum is, I think, okay, maximum is this. Minimum is minimum. Okay, so, oh, minimum is this one. Okay, so maximum minus minimum, 78 minus 50. Okay, which is 28. Okay, 28. I divide by 7 because it's easier. 4. So means I jump 4 by 4. Means, see, if I start, I do 4 by 4. Okay. Here 4 by 4. Oh, okay. So what do I start? I start from 49.5 because I start from a little bit less than 49.5. Okay, 49.5. Then I jump 4 by 4. Okay, so from here to here, I jump 4, I jump 4, I jump 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then for this part, I see 0.4. Okay, and again from here to here, I jump 4 by 4. There is no data at the beginning and at the end. There is no data from 53.4 to 53.5. No, there is no. And I don't see any decimal, so perfect. I can go to I can go to 1 decimal. When I don't see decimal, I go to 1 decimal. And then I can find the tally. This is your homework. I can find the tally here. I can find frequency, relative frequency, percent relative frequency. This can be your homework. And then you can fill the table and you can graph it here. Okay. The next example is this. This example has 1 decimal place. So look at here. For here, I go to 2 decimal place. Means I always go 1 backward. So I have no decimal, I go to 1 decimal. Okay, I have 1 decimal, I go to 2 decimal. So less than. Okay, so here, what is maximum? Maximum is 97.2. That's maximum. Minimum is 58.4. 58.4. Okay, this one. Okay, so I find 97.2 minus 58.4 equal 38.8, which is almost 40 divided by 8 equal 5. Okay, so it is almost, I say, okay, I round it up because 38.8, so I don't want to divide that, so I round up and divide by 8 and I do 5. So I jump 5 by 5. See, I jump 5 by 5. But because I have 1 decimal, now I go to 58.35. Okay, I have 58.4, so now I go to 35. Okay, so when I have no decimal, I go to 1 decimal. Here I have 1 decimal, I go to 2 decimal. Okay, so look at here. From here to here is 4, 4, 4, 4. So all of them 4 by 4. Okay, so the first column 4 by 4, the second column 4 by 4, and then I can find tally, I can find frequency, relative frequency, percent relative frequency, and all of them. Okay, so there is no boundary. There is no limit at the boundary. So there is no there is no data at the boundary. Okay, at the beginning. So there is no data at the start and at the end. No, there is no data that goes to 2 groups. No, there is no data that it's not in each. It's not in any group. No. Okay, I should have for sure when I add. Okay, so here I can say, look at this, and then you can fill this, and then you can graph it. This is also your homework, and that's good. See here, look at this. Here, see, when I add them all, I have to reach to 36. If I reach to more than 36, means at least one data belongs to 2 groups, and that's wrong. If I reach to less than 36, which is the total number, means 1 data doesn't belong to any group. That's also wrong. Okay, and then you can make the histogram, just all of them here. I